Hey everyone, welcome to Man Cave Insider episode 13. I'm Dennis Clark. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see past and future episodes. You could also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @CaveInsider. Now we're coming to you from my man cave, and the purpose of this channel is to talk about things that I've collected my entire life. The topic of each episode is selected by my 10-year-old daughter. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite comedy of all time, Dumb and Dumber, the 1994 film starring Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels. Now, the film was written and directed by the Farrelly brothers, Bobby and Peter. After they wrote the script, they were turned down by almost every studio in town. They had also tried to get a big-name actor attached to the film. Steve Martin turned them down. Martin Short did, as did many others. New Line liked the script, but only agreed to make it if they had a name attached to it. And they gave the Farrelly brothers a list of 25 actors, and if they could get one of the actors to agree to do the movie, they would greenlight it. They went through the list, and no one agreed to do it. Some of the people considered were the teaming of Nicolas Cage and Gary Oldman. Another combination considered was Rob Lowe and Chris Elliott. Now, at the time, New Line had just finished filming the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey. Up until this point, Jim Carrey was known primarily for his role on the ensemble comedy show In Living Color. He had also finished shooting Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, but it had not been released yet. They made an offer to Jim Carrey for $1 million. Jim Carrey's people accepted, but they said they had to have the deal finalized before February 4th, 1994. That is the day that Ace Ventura came out. The deal was not finalized. And when they went back to Jim Carrey's people the following week, because of the success of the opening of Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey's price went up considerably. They eventually wound up signing Jim Carrey to do the movie for $7 million. Now, for the other lead, the role of Harry Dunn, the studio wanted them to use another big-name comedian to play off Jim Carrey. But Carrey and the Farrelly brothers wanted an actor in the role and suggested Jeff Daniels. Now, up until this time, Jeff Daniels was known as primarily a dramatic actor with such films as Speed, The Purple Rose of Cairo, and Terms of Endearment. The studio did not want to hire Jeff Daniels for the role, but Carrey and the Farrelly brothers persisted, and the studio eventually agreed, but they only offered Jeff Daniels $50,000 because they figured he would turn down the role. He did not turn down the role. The studio was so unsure of Jeff Daniels that when filming commenced in Breckenridge, Colorado, the first week of filming consisted of scenes surrounding Jeff Daniels' character because they did not believe he could pull off the role, and if it wasn't working out, they would only have 1 week of filming to redo. However, by the end of that week, the studio knew what Carrey and the Farrelly brothers already knew, is that Jeff Daniels was the right person for the job. Now, this movie has a lot of great iconic scenes. It's got the van looking like a dog. It's got Lloyd Christmas as the limo driver. And of course, it's got the tuxedos, the orange and blue tuxedos, which are still popular Halloween costumes. Now, the ending of the movie had Lloyd and Harry in the desert, walking down the highway, no car, no money, down on their luck, saying that our break will come. We just got to wait for it. And of course, at that time, a bus pulls up with the Hawaiian Tropic bikini team. They say that they're looking for 2 men to travel around the country with them to oil them up before competitions. Harry and Lloyd tell them they're in luck. There's a town just a couple of miles away. The bus pulls away and it ends with them saying, we'll get our break. We just got to keep an eye out for it. Now, the way the scene was written, it called for the 2 main characters to get on the bus and leave with the Hawaiian Tropic bikini team. Jim Carrey refused to do it. He believed that there is no way these guys would be smart enough to get on that bus. He went back and forth with the directors. They even asked him if he could just shoot 1 take. Carrey refused, and they wound up with the ending that was in the movie, which in hindsight, everyone agreed was the right choice. Now, the movie opened at #1 in the box office and made over $160 million in North America and over $260 million worldwide, and is regarded by many as one of the top 10 and even top 5 comedies of all time. Now, based on the success of the movie, New Line came out with a Saturday morning animated cartoon on ABC the following year. The cartoon only lasted 1 season. Eventually, they wanted to make a sequel to the movie because of its success at the box office and on home video, but Cary, Daniels, and the Farrelly brothers were not interested. So they decided to make a prequel, and in 2003 released the film Dumb and Dumberer, When Harry Met Lloyd, which centered around the two characters meeting in high school. The movie did not fare well critically or at the box office. Eventually, in 2014, the Farrelly brothers, Cary and Jeff Daniels, reunited for the sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2, T.O. Now, the film was not as well received as the first one, and over 20 years had passed, but it still made over $168 million in the box office worldwide. However, Dumb and Dumber, the original, is still considered by many one of the greatest comedies of all time. And this movie did a few things. It launched the careers of the Farrelly brothers, who wound up doing films such as There's Something About Mary, Shallow Hal, Stuck on You, and they even reunited with Cary for the film Me, Myself, and Irene. Jeff Daniels, of course, has worked consistently ever since in films like Pleasantville, The Martian. He starred on Broadway recently as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird and won an Emmy for the HBO show The Newsroom. He even founded the Purple Rose Theater in his hometown in Michigan, where he has written over 17 original plays. And of course, Jim Carrey's career was solidified in 1994 with 3 comedy hits: Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. The following year, he played the Riddler in Batman Forever in a role that many thought was going to go to Robin Williams. He did iconic comedies such as Liar Liar, The Grinch, Bruce Almighty, and he won 2 Golden Globes for The Truman Show and Man on the Moon, the biopic on Andy Kaufman. But Dumb and Dumber still continues to this day to be one of his most popular movies ever made. Now, if you don't have this movie in your collection, I suggest that you get it. It's available on DVD. It's even available on Blu-ray and has some extra scenes put in. I'm going to put the links down below where you can get those. So that is it for Dumb and Dumber. We hope you like this. Please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, leave those below. Also, I would like to hear what your favorite quote from this movie is. Leave those in the comments below. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Man Cave Insider.